Yo, boys, welcome back to Dan Tactics. So, really quickly, boys, I just want to show you my setup and literally how I'm recording this video right now, or on how I'm going to record it. Today's video is going to be about my trading strategy regardless, but dude, this setup is so, bro, it is so janky right now, dude. This is literally all I got, bro. Dan Tactics is in the cut trying to make this work. Obviously, I could get better equipment and stuff, but I don't really know what's best, so if you guys have any advice, help me out. But I've been trading off my laptop, but let's get right into it. Let me set, I got to set up OBS too. I have yet to do that. Okay, so it's time to go over Dan's strategy now. Um, this video is honestly like a little bit of a test for myself. I want to explain a strategy to you guys, but also I feel like if I'm able to explain a strategy, then I should be able to react on my strategy on a daily basis, which I feel like I'm getting better at and more confident at doing. But I do want to make these videos also to prove myself that I could also do that as well. So I'm just gonna really wait for a lot of the times what I do. So for example, on a day like this, okay, this is a great example. So we have obviously we have a pre-market high. Honestly, our pre-market high was right before it open. So I'm gonna go grab my trend line. So this is our point. I waited for price, so I'm gonna take it back down to the minute. God damn it. I hate when this happens. Alright, right over here. Uh Back to the minute. So alright. So this was pre-market high. I would have waited for price to cross. So I would have just been waiting this entire time for price to get up to this liquidity point or pre-market high. This is just how I've been trading recently. Obviously, you could trade forms of liquidity getting swept within a 15-minute time frame, not necessarily being a pre-market high or a pre-market low or yesterday's. I just trade off liquidity points that have already been resting since I'm just a beginner and I'm not yet looking. So at this point, we would have had liquidity would have been swept, orders would have been filled. These two candles would have been the move up. So this would have been the final move up, at least on the minute time frame. So I would have waited for price to come out. I would have waited for a break of structure too. We got our break of structure right here. A lot of people would just enter off of this. I necessarily don't. But and then I would have waited for price to come back into it, which price did, and obviously it reacted. This didn't really play out the best way. I'm not sure. It looks like daily bias could have possibly been heading in the other direction or not. But I mean, there's still you would have hit your take profit here, at least one of them, because I would have said if I had price coming back into here and I'm hypothetically entering the trade here, setting my stop loss right above these highs for a one-to-one trade, at least at the minimum, you're gonna want your take profit to be right down here. So at least it would have hit your first take profit. That's just an example of how would have executed one trade. Let's go take a look at another one. A lot of the times too, I want to find an example off one I could have taken off a fair value gap potentially. Because I do that a lot too. Okay. Uh, no. There's sweeps, but there's no break of structures. Obviously, you don't want to enter if there's no break of structure. Right here is a pretty good example. Um, this that's gonna kick me out of that, but take it back down in a minute. I don't know. I like switch time frames too much. I don't know why. All right. So okay, we had a high here, and then we broke structure. We never broke structure. Well, we broke structure. We set a higher high on a 1 minute time frame. I guarantee you, on a 5 minute time frame, this would have never been set. So that's another thing. I want to make sure that with Confluence with higher time frames. I'm pretty sure that increases the probability of the trade. I'm an absolute noob, so I know some of you guys are watching this video right now. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. But bear with me, boys. We're learning. We're gonna get there. Hopefully, you guys are some noobs too, and hopefully, you guys could learn with me. But all right, so that final move up to cause that would have been right here. So I would have waited essentially for price to come out of it. And then this one would have played out a lot better than the other ones. So I would have waited for price to come back into it, would have entered my trade to the downside, and then I would have probably been targeting, looks like, yeah, the most recent low from that point isn't too far down. So a lot of the times then I would look for an imbalance. Possibly right here to fill this gap. That's what I would have been targeting. I would have been targeting this general area right here to fill this gap. It looks like there's also a fair value gap right here, even though it's on the pre-market. I would have taken it to right here. So that trade would have actually ended up playing out. Obviously, I don't trade IWM every single day. And another thing I like doing is showing my strategy on a little bit of a higher time frame because it honestly works a little bit better. Obviously, you see, I've been marking out stuff. Let's go to when Dan wasn't really a trader. I started trading like at the start of September. Jesus, okay, I marked out like a million things. All right, perfect. These are undiscovered markets that Dan has not yet to see. So, as we notice here, this is like a decently good example on a 15-minute scale. So we have our pre-market low. Stop magneting everywhere. So we have our pre-market low. I don't think I could take this to a lower time frame because I don't have the trading view plan, so it's not going to let me see it. But anyways, we have a pre-market low. I wait for that low to get swept. Obviously, then on a 15-minute time frame, we technically don't even break structure until this candle right here when we form a higher low. Um, and then higher and then a higher, or technically it's not even a higher high, but we're in an uptrend. But anyways, like, see, I'm a completely new. I'm getting too ahead of myself to start thinking. The only reason is why I wouldn't have entered price, or something that I do notice here is there's this fair value gap actually got disrespected. Price came all the way out of it, and once price came back into it, it was an inverse fair value gap. So you got the pre-market sweep, and then you had the price create an inverse fair value gap and then come back into it. You could have used that as an entry, or I guarantee you, if you take this on a smaller time frame, there is some sort of order block here that is smaller, because essentially right now on a 15-minute time frame, it's this whole move down that's going to be the order block. So if price ever came back into it, doesn't look like it, but um so a lot of the times I do try to scale down to a smaller time frame. Right now, it wouldn't let me. So let me take this. Let's go take a look at something else. Let's go Nvidia. I used to trade Nvidia a lot more. Now I've kind of been more of like QQQ IWM. So I'm not saying like Nvidia is bad or anything. I realistically just kind of been minimizing my pairs so I could learn like more at a time. Let's take this down to the 5 minute. Um, so let's pay attention here. Okay, perfect. This is this is really nice. The only thing is this never played out in in real time. I mean, I guess you could have here. Got that line. Yeah, we never swept it. We just came back in and filled an order block. Okay, never mind. Trying to see. See, I'm not like great at spotting it yet, so oh, okay. This is actually, I took this trade. I remember this was a complete disaster. Well, I actually won on the trade. I should have not taken this. Anyways, look at that. 0.87 risk reward. Jesus. That is terrible. Um, so fair value gap, that could have really been a retracement, which look at that. It really was. I mean, pay attention to how this fair value gap worked. Price went up, price came back into that fair value gap and then instantly rejected up to the upside. Um, It's a lot easier like when I go on a daily basis and I only have to like look for like 3 points I want to target. This is good too. We never swept this high here, but on we actually did come in and fill this order block. So as you see, we had a low here. Obviously, that low, it's that last move down, so it was those last two candles. And then the second that price came into it, look at that. Straight to the upside. That's obviously like right at market open. I do try to avoid trading like those first like 15 minutes of market open. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Again, bro, I need like so much help on my strategy, but right now, essentially, all I try to do is wait for a liquidity sweep. A lot of the time, it ends up being like a pre-market low, pre-market high. Yesterday's low or yesterday's high. Not like outstanding liquidity regions, which I feel like I should be paying attention more. Feel like I need to scale higher to like a higher time frame more often. Like I should be looking at like the hourly time frames more often because right now I've basically just been sitting on the 15, 5, 1, and 3. That's all I've been rotating between. My win rate for the month's at 65%, but I do definitely want to get that up, and I want to get my RR up because a lot of my trades RR is like 1.5 to 1. My like highest trade I've ever had was like 2.5 to 1. So like I'm still an absolute noob. I'm trying to improve on that. That's one of my biggest regions. I do want to improve on setting my stop losses and take profits. I think I'm gonna make a video on that. Like that might be like what I'm gonna be covering a lot like over the next couple weeks is like improving my RR, trying to improve my like my stop losses, my take profits, trying to get some better trades before I enter in with real money. Because right now I'm paper trading. Obviously, my goal is to become profitable. That's why we're making this series right now. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys did understand my strategy. I'm not sure exactly if you guys did or not. If you guys have any questions for me, just leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer my best. If you guys have any advice for me, I'll be able to listen in and hopefully I'll be able to react off of it. If you guys want to see any types of videos posted, let me know. But other than that, I hope you guys all take care. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free hit that like subscribe button. It's up to you. But other than that, take care.